Hello, welcome back to the wild. My name is Beast, and today, it is 10 minutes to 11 p.m., so I don't know how long I'll be recording. But hey, I'm not that tired, considering, I started work at, like, 8 a.m. Which, funnily enough, the call from work didn't wake me up. I just woke up at that time, on my own. Like 7 a.m. Even though I went to bed at, like, 1 to 2. I don't know why I woke up on my own. It don't make sense to me. But alas, I fucking did, so I went to work. Had to fucking sweep outside in the fucking freezing cold because today, when it's so fucking cold, it just had to be the day they took away the fucking container with all the paper shit. With all the cartons and shit like that. So it had to be done while it's still gone. So now it fell to me. And the moment I got home, usual shower, eat, sleep. Then proceed to sleep until 8. And now here I sit. Book storage. Library this time was nothing like when I came here before with Komaki. It's full of people. It's only natural, isn't it? When Komaki invited me to her refuge, it was closing time, so besides Komaki, there was no one else around. Now the library is back to normal. There are 2 female librarians sitting side by side at the counter. Perhaps I should ask one of them. And just as I'm about to call out to them, I hesitate. I was going to ask if Komaki was around. No big deal. That's right, no big deal at all. Just asking where my friend is. While my heart pounds furiously against my chest, I pretend to act casual and approach the counter. The girl turns towards me before I can mention Komaki's voice. My voice evaporates. Wait a sec. I call out for a girl while she's busy working. Isn't that just like a domineering boyfriend? There's no way I can ask if she's in the archives. The 2 behind the counter would surely have their imaginations run wild. I look for an excuse while smacking my lips. I cover my mouth as she struggles to hide her impatience. Thoughts of being the domineering boyfriend come to mind and my face goes red. The very last moment, I just remember what Komaki said at the last class meeting. I'd like to change my library card. The library card was changing from cards to a barcode system, but I hadn't changed my card yet. I was too lazy to go through the whole process earlier, but it made for a perfect excuse. Just as I was about to tell them my name, Komaki raised a hand to greet me and I freeze. The girls behind the counter returned to their work in an instant. I used that opportunity to escape. Shortly after calling out to me, Komaki exchanged a few words with the librarians and returns to the archives. Am I such a klutz? I came here to help Komaki, but she thought I just wanted to change my library card. However, Komaki had said that she misunderstood. Could it be that in that instance she was pleased to see me coming to help? Follow her, you... It has to be it. When Komaki returned to leave, I think I saw a brief look of disappointment, maybe even loneliness on her face. I can't deny that she looked hopeful for a moment when she saw me. I didn't say I was coming to help, so it's my fault for giving her the wrong idea. Sorry, I gotta go. I've got something urgent to do. I point to where Komaki had vanished to and vault over the counter. The librarian stares at me astonished. I reach towards the entrance of the archives and nonchalantly tear up the forms. No, you've got the wrong idea. I must have startled her. Her reaction makes me feel a bit happy and sad for some reason. With a clear voice, I reply, I'm here to help. Looks like she's going to refuse again. No need. If I say I'll help, it means I'll help. I force my way in without giving her a chance to refuse. She has no choice but to let me in. Without waiting for her permission, I move over to start working. I walk over to a bookshelf and stop walking. What am I supposed to do? Despite having barged in so enthusiastically, I had no idea what to do next. Komaki. Again, this soundtrack just really reminds me of Trista. You know what? Actually, hold on. I'll actually pull up the fucking Trista soundtrack. Hold on, let me just... right, I need to regulate sound here. Volume adjustment. Actually, I can do it a lot simpler by just... Lautstärke-mixer. Just mute ToHeart2 real quick. Was it not Trista? Nah, I guess it wasn't Trista, but the other one. Huh, awkward. I guess I am going insane then. That's always lovely to find out. Oh. Lucky? She hears me and walks over. However, she's standing on the other side of the bookshelf, so despite being right in front of me, her voice sounds muffled. What do I do with the English book?
英語について書かれた本？それとも文字が全部英語？
The latter.
ちょっと待って。外国の書籍は。
Hear footsteps coming towards me. I peer around the bookshelves and notice they're pushing a cart full of books
これ
towards
に
me.
分けといて。
Okay. You can hear her feet continuing to move on the other side of the bookshelf. I notice there's still a bit of distance between us. All I can see is Komaki's fingertips nimbly poking in and out between the books from the other side as to nudge them into place. We continue like this for a while, working patiently and efficiently with a bookshelf between our faces. It is quite different from when we're both having tea together. It's like we're constantly reflecting each other's actions. Can't blame her. We're both in this together, and it's easier and less awkward to work this way. We begin by sorting the books to make it easier to stick barcodes on them later. Since people don't borrow these books very often, we won't have many opportunities to correct mistakes later on. You could say that getting these barcodes correct is a very important job.
絶対からかわれるよ。
I hear Komaki whining on the other side of the bookshelf. She's probably been doing this for a while
ま
now.
さか図書室の方から入ってくるなんて。
She holds her head in her hands on the other side of the bookshelf. Sorry, I didn't really think about that. Apparently there's another entrance to the archives from the corridor that I could have used
別に
instead.
コナクを責めてるわけじゃないんだけど。
Her tone indicates that she's a bit upset. But didn't I come in from there the first time?
書庫の出入りなら廊下に面したドアがあるから。
Our conversation is going around in circles. Can you just talk to them about it? I'm just here to help, nothing
コ
more.
ナク、分かってないよ。
I really
微
don't.
笑ましく見守る顔の前では弁明なんて通用しないんだから。
Whatever, I'm sure everyone's just trying to stir up
と
drama.
どめ刺さないで。
I guess that's how it is. But there's nothing going on here. If they were to make fun of us, would it make Komaki feel uncomfortable around me? Can't even see each other's faces with this massive bookshelf in between us. There's no way anyone would think we're doing anything other than working, right? Anyway, I finally managed to find the book I was looking for. It seems to be an old Japanese classic. Pull it off the shelves. Hello! Ha! Same time, Komoki pulls out the book next to it. Our eyes meet.
ごめんなさい。
Just fucking... Ah! Let's move on. No, I'm sorry. And we quickly duck out of sight. Gotta think of it. Why am I
そ
apologizing?
れもそうだね。
He slowly lifts her head back up, but continues to avert her gaze. Our faces are red, right in front of each other. I can almost smell her breath. I can see her looking a bit embarrassed. I blush and quickly try to distract myself. In the end, we quickly return to our work. I hear Komaki scream briefly before being cut off by what sounds like an avalanche. Frantically call out to the other side of the bookshelf. Hey, what's wrong?
大丈夫。ちょっと本が崩れてきただけ。
That's pretty loud. Are you hurt?
いや、平気。問題ないから。
Really? She's almost certainly pushing herself too far. She could be bleeding to death and still call out, I'm fine. I shall go have a look. Try to pull out a few hardcovers and peek through the opening I made. Ah! Once again, we are point blank range. You both jump at the same time. I'm sorry this time.
いえ、こちらこそ
I didn't mean to do that, sorry.
そんな、私の方がごめんなさいは多いです。
We slowly approached the opening in the bookshelf while apologizing to each other. Feeling my face go red, we were close enough to kiss. Which reminds me, I was also aware of Komaki's breathing touching my lips. Does that make this an indirect kiss? What am I thinking? I hastily moved to the side and tried to clear my thoughts, deep breaths in and out. I can hear Komaki trying to control her breathing too, the blood that has rushed to my head. I wonder if it's gone as far as the whites of my eyes. I once again timidly move out of the shadows of the bookshelf to look at her. Pet. Oh, Komaki's face comes into view. We both pull our faces back again. Now of us utter a word. Heart feels like it's about to burst out of my chest. Eventually, I manage to catch my breath. Let's go back to work.
そうだね。
I can still feel butterflies on my stomach, but with the bookshelf separating us, we return to our work. I've never been that close to a girl's face before. If I'd leaned forward just a bit further, I could have touched her lips. We even gazed into each other's eyes for a moment. I've never experienced this with Komaki. I sigh and try to focus on my work. I want to return our conversation to how it was before. What the heck was that ahi just now?
私、そんなこと言ってませんよ。
She's talking formally again. She's clearly nervous. Is that so? But I'm more interested in the ayah you said before that.
やだな。そのとしてボケちゃいました？それとも耳が遠く？老衰にはまだ早いですよ。
I realize that she has unintentionally reverted back to her normal casual manner of speech again. Komaki, your tone's back to normal.
OK。
Komaki still occasionally sprinkles her speech with honorifics. Well, I'm no psychologist, so I really shouldn't be judging the way she talks. Now that I'm aware of my presumptuous behavior, I need to talk to Komaki. Ah! As soon as I raised my head, I instinctively jumped backwards. This time she had launched a surprise attack on me.
そろそろお茶にしない？
Okay.
今、ぐわっとか言わなかった？
Not at all. Still strange. Still strange, or should I say awkward. So this is what it's like being alone with a girl in a secret room. Back then, had we leaned forward just a bit more, what might have happened? Something like a kiss out of a manga? No matter how hard I tried to focus on my work, I kept replaying the thought in my head and imagining what could have occurred. There was no way I could show my face to Komaki now. Trying to hide my embarrassment, I leaned down to pick up my teacup. The amber-colored fluid floods my mouth. The sharp flavor sinks pleasantly into my tongue.
今日のはどう？
She seems impatient. Coincidentally, my anxiety also seems to have disappeared.
いや、その味の違いを分かるとかそういうことじゃなくて。
Pretty good? Yep. Due to my inexperience, that's all I can say. However, I can tell that she used tea leaves that she doesn't normally use. She probably chose tea leaves that would appeal to anybody. You must like red tea. After that, the topic of discussion comes to a grinding halt.
普通かな？
Komaki's pointless questions prove that this conversation isn't going anywhere. Both Komaki and myself sense the uncomfortable atmosphere. It's no surprise, really. I've hardly ever taken the opportunity to speak to Komaki in class, so it's no wonder we have nothing to talk about. Try to think of something to talk about. I noticed barcodes still lying around. You made this thing yourself too, didn't you? I reach out backwards and pick up a barcode from the computer desk. Doesn't look manufactured. The sticker is clearly a Photoshop on plain white paper.
資金が少ないから知恵を絞らないとね。
Komaki beamed with pride while bringing the teacup to her lips. I look around the room and apart from a regular printer, there appears to be no special printing equipment for barcodes. You're really something. Komaki blushes about words. I take a closer look at the barcode. The barcode is a sequence of many thick and thin stripes. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but it's pretty cool. Do you have any idea how this thing works?
まあ一応、でもほとんど機械任せだし。
She's trying to be humble, but I can tell she's really proud of herself. I got the feeling she could almost do it without the machine. Now that I think about it, doesn't Komaki work on this every day? She's almost like a machine herself. There's all sorts of equipment in the archives, and it looks like all of it was made for this purpose. They suit the secret base quite well. If that's the case, I feel like an intruder. Not of much use other than a bit of manual labor. I really forced her into letting me stay here, didn't I?
お茶のおかわりはいかが？
She could tell that I was feeling a bit gloomy and tries to cheer me up. It'd be rude to turn her down. Oh well. I'm not gonna refuse free tea. I hold out my cup and saucer. Please?
あのさ、河野くん。
After finishing our tea, we returned to work with the bookshelf in between us. Komaki calls out to me through the
こ
shelves.
このこと秘密基地みたいって思ってるでしょ？
I'm startled at her apparent ability to read my mind.
実は私もそう思う。
I can almost sense her smiling from the other side. Or is it just my imagination? But isn't this part of the
で
school?
も秘密基地って他人の土地に勝手に作るものだよね。
I put it that way. That's true. We continue our childish discussion. Since our tea break, Komaki has been talking to me more. As we continue our work, thoughts of Komaki drift into my mind. From the little time I've spent with her, she seems quite serious and hardly ever spends enough time with anyone for them to fully understand her. That's why she has trouble accepting help from others and is especially uncomfortable with boys. I guess she must spend day after day here till dark with nobody around. Anyway, while I sit around imagining what Incho's life must be like, the warm red glow of the sun seeps in from beyond the curtain. The quiet sounds of books being moved along with the sounds of the sports clubs packing up makes the atmosphere in here rather cozy. Komaki will probably disagree if I say this, but I feel like Komaki deserves more than to just watch clubs and enjoy themselves outside. Komaki should also be part of that fun. She shouldn't be here all day alone in a dusty archive at dusk. Why did I come to help her again? Komaki hasn't even asked me that once. The sports clubs are almost done packing up. Soon there won't be a soul left in the schoolyard. Is that why we're still here? Even if you leave from the rear of the archives, the two of us will have to walk down the corridor side by side. Eventually we end up looking through the rear exit. I realize that she's much shorter than usual compared to me when we walk next to each other. Neither of us pays attention to our surroundings as we make our way back down to the shoe rack. There are still a few girls dressed in gym clothes on their way home. They glance at us as we walk past. They don't get any weird ideas about us walking together at this hour. At least the red glow of the evening sun does well to conceal the color of our faces. Still conscious of the people staring at us, we avoid eye contact and turn towards our own shoe boxes. I have no intention of rushing to change my shoes, and neither does Komaki. I have no choice but to wait a little. However, under these circumstances, it's a bit embarrassing. Almost as though I were an affectionate boyfriend. Bye! She isn't facing my way. Eventually I turn towards the school gate. The sound of her small footsteps slowly fade away. Book storage. Is she constipated? Looks like Komaki's having trouble again. Her moans of despair echo through the archives. I've been ignoring them for a while now as I continue to sort the books. She sounds rather desperate, but I've decided not to help her out this time. Jeez, I know what Komaki's done. She's put too many books on the cart and can't move it. The cart was designed to move huge piles of books in one go to make it easier for the librarians. Of course it has wheels. I have no idea how many books she greedily piled up on it, but it sounds like it's too much for the poor cart to handle. Oh, it's not right. Not quite right. It's not the cart's fault. She's just too weak to push it. Even more, I'm standing near her. Even though I'm standing near her, she refuses to ask for help as usual. Looks like I'll have to sort this out myself again. However, she's been struggling with the cart for a while. I'm starting to get pissed off at her stubbornness. I won't help her until she asks me to. Come on, say something. Something. God damn it! I imagine he just stands there like, isn't there something you should be asking right about now? Nobody's rushing you! With a sour look on my face, I grabbed the other side of the cart. Jeez, just ask for help when you need it. You're worried about being a burden, aren't you? Komaki doesn't answer, just hangs her head in shame. said too much. If I correct myself any further, though, it'll be more awkward. I silently grip the handle. Stop pulling, will you?
お荷物。いや、本当だってば。
No, but
どうしてそこまで疑うのよ。
tea time. We both sit there, our teas growing colder with each passing second while we sip it quietly. Gaze at the dishes she's laid out on the table. Wrinkly purple beans? Some amber-colored crinkled stuff? It looks like rat brains. What's this stuff supposed to be? Are you sure these are just raisins and walnuts?
だからさっきからそう言ってるよ。
And we'll finish them off together?
えー
It's not that I don't like them. Are you sure there isn't anything else inside?
そんなことないよ。
I trust you. But no matter how you look at it, there's no way those are normal walnuts and raisins.
本当だってば、騙されたと思って。
Kofumoki isn't the sort who would play pranks, but this could possibly be the longest setup for a prank ever. What if her behavior until now was just a ruse? You know, it's impossible. Even if I asked her about it, her response would probably be, huh? What? For
河
sure.
野くん、世の中には食べ合わせというものがあるんだよ。
That doesn't make sense. Eel with dried plums, tempura with shaved ice. If you eat them together, you'll probably fall seriously ill.
干しぶどうの甘みと酸味に、くるみの油分と渋みがマッチして、絶妙なハーモニーを奏でるのよ。
Komagi, did you watch a strange program on television yesterday?
って？
Those sorted food based on their color. Then he rounded up a bunch of celebrities and along with them tried to predict which combinations of food would taste good together. Eventually the celebrities had to eat the combinations they had chosen.
もうすぐそうやって話をごまかそうとする。とにかくくるみのまったりした食感が。
No doubt about it, she's influenced by a cooking show. But the predictions were lies.
そんなことないってば。おいちゃん、嘘つかないし。
This has nothing to do with Oi-san! I guess I don't really have a choice. I'll just have to taste them together. Reach out to the dish and pick up a raisin and a walnut in my palm. Komaki watches me intently.
干しぶどうもう2粒。
So picky. I tossed them to my mouth under Komaki's watchful supervision.
どう？
Komaki leans forward. Are you asking me about the raisins and walnuts?
じゃなくて。
The walnuts and raisins.
違
And what
う。
exactly?
もういい。河野くん、張り合いないんだから。
Looks like she's given up on me. I don't really get it, but whatever. They're raisins and walnuts to me. Nothing more, nothing less. When Komaki looks away, I throw more of them into my mouth in the designated ratios. That's Komaki for you. She's never angry for long. It's best to let sleeping dogs lie. I keep my mouth shut and reach for the teacup. And then, when we resume our work, Komaki gives away her frown. The raisins and walnuts turn out to be pretty good after all. I suited the tea well. We ended up eating them all of them.
わかりました。そうまで言うなら、次はびっくりするようなお茶受けを用意しておきますから。
Komaki turns away and puffs out her cheeks. She wasn't particularly angry. I wasn't trying to find fault on purpose. Well, I guess not everyone has the same taste.
河野くんの舌がおかしいんです。
We left from the rear entrance of the library. There's hardly anyone left to interrupt our conversations. I've been here many times as Komaki's assistant. I'm gradually getting used to walking down the corridor with just her, Komaki and myself. Once again, I feel people glancing at us, but I pretend not to notice. However, as we approach the school gate, our discussion gradually dies down. It's not that we don't have anything to talk about. It's just that there's a high chance of a classmate overhearing us outside school. Komaki and I are still unwilling to take our relationship beyond the school gate. Speed up as I walk down the hill, eager to escape this awkward silence. Komaki doesn't follow. There we go. Book storage.
河野くん、お茶にしようよ。
This is the third time she said that. However, Komaki's been lagging behind schedule today. She's much slower than usual and has only just begun sorting them. Is she okay? While pondering this, I return to the hardcover book I'm holding to the shelf in front of me. Today, Komaki brought a little paper bag with her. I It's from the new confectionery store in front of this train station. I vaguely remember hearing the girls talk about it in class. Since we began, I've been thinking about the contents of that bag.
今日のお茶菓子はじゃじゃ
Despite her enthusiasm, the sweets appear to be irregular garden variety scones. Wait a second. I gotta recognize this aroma from a mile off. Komaki watches my expression. He carefully places the scones on a plate in front of me. Does seem to be too many of them. Anyway, the scones are spread with butter, lightly oven baked, and then drizzled with maple syrup. Am I right?
すごい河野くんドンピシャだよ
To be honest, I was watching her the whole time in the kitchen, trying to figure out what he was doing. She looks impressed. I guess she doesn't notice me while she didn't notice me while she was in the kitchen after all. Itadakimasu. Even though I'm entranced by the sweet aroma of the scones, I politely take a sip of the tea first. Tastes a bit stronger than usual.
アスムにしてみたのお茶菓子が重めだから
Let's see, yes. Take a bite out of the scone. The bitterness of the tea goes well with the sweetness of the syrup and the mellowness of the
苦
butter.
かったらミルクもどうぞもともとミルクティーにもよく使われる茶葉だから
You'll see, thanks. Probably wouldn't hurt to try a bit of milk. The kind of person who prefers food the way it was originally prepared. So far I've been drinking the tea straight, but if you're going to adding milk, then what might I do? As I reach out towards the milk jug, my eyes are drawn towards the scones. Tempted to drop the tea and gobble them up immediately. Eh! The fingertips wrap around something soft. Huh? My jug's made of metal. Oh, I had accidentally reached out to Komaki's fingers instead of the milk jug. Her face quickly goes red. Whoops, sorry. We simultaneously withdraw our hands. As we do so, the milk jug starts swaying precariously. Out! She exclaims the second before I do. Both of us reach out to stop the jug from falling over at the same time. This time we exclaim together. Inevitably, both of our hands lie on top of the jug. Komaki's tender white hand is completely covered by my much larger palm. That was inappropriate. How rude. Sorry! Frantically put my hand away. I decided to shut my mouth before we started another apology competition. I'm sure Komaki would take this a bit too seriously. Sorry. Pick up my teacup and continue sipping. Komaki decides to remain quiet too. We both continue to sip our tea and dissolve without
ごめんなさいみっともなく騒いじゃって
Komaki mutters on a voice as quiet as a whisper. I don't recall her apologizing like this before.
私その
She hesitates while clasping her fingers together. She looks really nervous and finally manages to
男の
speak.
人とこれが初めてかも
Eh? I had been silent until now, but that news surprised me. First time?
記憶にあるうちではだけど
Oh. Really? That's true. She hasn't touched a man's hand since she was a child. What kind of sheltered millionaire's daughter lifestyle she
そ
lives?
れでちょっとびっくりしたかも
Komaki brings her teaspoon to her mouth and closes her eyes with a sigh.
ごめんなさい
There's nothing to apologize about. I didn't really mind. Komaki stares at me
このく
blankly.
らい慣れてるってこと
No, we just touched by sheer coincidence. It didn't really mean anything.
そうなんだ
She says while stirring her tea excessively. I can't really tell what she's thinking.
深いって
Like neighbors, right?
そうなの
Just like a younger sister.
そうなんだ
Why are you taking the cakes away? At the teapot. Hey, where are you going? She is angry. Now it makes me feel like she's already had like at least a mild attraction towards him even before her route, or like very early, I guess, in the events. First floor corridor. I've always wondered how, even in the midst of noise and congestion, our ears can immediately recognize friendly voices or names. As I walk down the corridor surrounded by the after-school clamor, my ears recognize something causing me to stop in my tracks. I wonder if it's the voice of an acquaintance in a classroom nearby. I look down the corridor and spot Komaki. She's standing next to two other girls who are as short as her. What's this? Man, her speech looks awfully reserved. Komaki is leaning towards them to listen to their murmuring voices and seems to be taking notes. Is that a school notebook she's writing in? Looks like she's writing some kind of memo in the back of her notebook. However, the notebook doesn't appear to have too many pages. If she was doing some kind of survey, she would surely need more pages than that. Two of them start bowing towards her. Doesn't look like they're apologizing, so perhaps they're asking something of her. Komaki also seems to start bowing apologetically. The three of them continue bowing. Can't figure out anything else. They've been bowing for a while now. How long are they going to keep it up? What should I do? No one else seems to have any business with them. Scratch my head and walk towards them. Are you three role-playing as birds bobbing their heads to drink water? Are you going to work today? Have you finished your business? You're done, right? And nothing else in particular? Nothing? In that case, let's go. In public like this, I should be able to forcefully remove Komaki by hand, so I urge her on ahead. Unable to keep up with what I'm saying, she stands there frozen. Looks like something relatively easy to grab onto. I pull her by her collar. Come on at once! See ya! I take off with my hands stretched out behind me, dragging Komaki along. Two girls, along with a few spectators, start whispering amongst themselves. Don't jump to such bizarre conclusions! The archives, where we can work peacefully without interruptions. Do they always rely on you like that? We end up yet again on opposite sides of the bookshelves while talking to each other. Yeah, in the corridor. I'd already chosen my words, but I was looking for an opening to use them. It's like she read my mind, but this is what I was going to say. Don't push yourself too hard, but I decided not to do after hearing her say that. Can't help but question her a bit more, but I know I shouldn't talk about this any further. For a while, apart from questions relating to our work, only the sounds of books being filed and the rhythmic ticking of the clock can be heard. So long as Komaki doesn't push herself too much, I'm okay with it. However, what if she herself is unaware of how overworked she is? She probably doesn't realize that working so hard isn't normal. Granted, looking at Komaki, I think that's happened before. She seems like the kind of soft-hearted person to whom others will push their duties on. I salute the efforts of people like her working away at workplaces and homes and at school despite lack of appreciation. No? Looked at the spines of the book laid out before me. I stopped for a moment. There's a huge line of books messily strewn across the bookshelf. How did something this bad happen? It's possible for something like this to have gone unnoticed for so long. Immediately pondered the reason. Hey, Komaki! She replies from across the room. As I wonder where she could be, she seemed to have guessed my question. Yeah, can you come over here a second? You might want to look at this. Komaki comes over as told. She stops across the shelf from me and stands on her tippy toes to peer over the shelf at me. I guess standing right next to me is a bit uncomfortable for her. These look like they all slid off the shelf. Softies like her make the world go round. In Komaki's case, however, she'd probably be careful not to move too quickly. That reminds me, back in the corridor with those two girls, want to tell me what you were doing? I might have changed the topic a bit too abruptly. Quickly glimpsed at Komaki. As expected, she has a blank look on her face. It's tea time, but Komaki's face looked a bit gloomy. Maybe I shouldn't have asked her about that after all. Should I change the topic to lighten the atmosphere? I'm a bit taken aback by how quickly her mood changed. Usually loves to compare the two of us, but at least I'm not as hard at covering up. Although it seems like she's dragging this out on purpose, almost as though she wants to talk about it. I tried to recall the scene in my mind as I continued talking. They were probably from the art club, asking you to identify some colors. I still remember clearly the colors they had their fingers pointed at. However, Komaki's answer is a bit unexpected. Eh? But the red color at their fingertips, well, was closer to orange than red. So it was a red ink brush? Place for that, huh? Japanism's pretty big. Smaller clubs like this one at the culture club all share the same classroom. The regular ones, like the sports clubs, have their own dedicated rooms. What's wrong with the usual classroom? Can't they just leave them on the seats and desks? Yes, that rules out the classroom, even on weekends when nobody has a reason to enter the classroom. We can't exactly lock it up. What about the gym? I tell her what was on my mind. Isn't it possible to reserve it for a day or something? It's possibly booked for It's probably booked for another decade for the sports clubs, though. Wait a minute. Weren't those two thanking Komaki for something? Has the problem already been solved?
それはどうにかなったんだけど、
Somehow?
昨年末だし、もう試合もないから、来年の新人専用にオーダー幕を書くって交換条件でね。
Ah, well, that was easy. I mean, it does look like they should stop calling you vice president and start calling you class president.
もう
I grin broadly while Komaki puffs her cheeks out. I lean back in my chair holding my teacup. Case closed, I
と
guess?
ころがそうでもなかったの。
Why? Are you talking about after-school club activities? During the season, the sports club practice outside, so the gym should be free even after school. Is there something else in the way? Komaki opens her mouth to answer.
昼休み、
Oh, the gym is supposed to be open to all students during lunch break. I hadn't thought of that. Did you ask the teacher to let you off the gym during lunch break too? Like, close off the gym during lunch break too?
先生はダメだよ。イレギュラーなことでは本当当てにならないし。
I was blunt. I guess that's just the way Komaki is. You gotta be brutally honest sometimes. So what did you
要
do?
は代わりになる場所を探せばいいわけ。
Komaki suddenly sounds prouder than
ちょうど
usual.
生徒会で知り合いの先輩が今年引退したバスケ部の元部長と仲が良くて、それで口を聞いてもらって1日だけ昼休みにバスケコートを一般開放してもらったの。
Komaki really can turn lead into gold. That's some scary incho magic. She doesn't seem like the persuasive type, yet she somehow seems to be able to use her mediation skills and authority to really get things moving. Impressive.
そんな口利きをしただけだから大したことじゃないよ。
Not many people are able to convince people like that. It's clear she never realized how good she was at stuff like this. Anyway, why do you work so hard for other people's sake? Komaki stares at me
困
blankly.
ってる人を助けるのってそんなに変？
It's not, it's just that in your case, you really put your heart and soul into
そ
it.
んな大したことはしてないよ。
Komaki says with
手
a
間に
laugh.
もならないことで誰かが助かるんだったら、それってやんない理由はないよね。
Sounds like that was more... sounds like that was more than enough trouble for me. To me. Even if I told her that, Komaki would still play it down as something ordinary.
人の不幸って他人事じゃないし。
A tinge of sadness creeps across her face as she speaks.
いつ自分の身に同じことが降りかかるか、その時誰も助けてくれなかったらやっぱり悲しいよね。
As I gaze at my teacup, I notice Komaki's sad smile reflecting off the surface of the tea. Looks like she's gone through that sort of pain before. I wonder if she's okay. You know, if you ever run into any trouble, you should really try asking for help. I hold my teacup and clearly express my
でも
thoughts. I can help out a bit. I show her how I feel the same way. However, Komaki still seems unsure as she bites her lip. However, my services aren't free. I demand payment and tea and cakes. A smile finally spreads across her face. She giggles. Damn, that was smooth. Not Koike with his fucking ramen again. Leave me alone! Ah! Cue the Akira echo. I decided to take a break from sorting books to stretch my legs a bit. As I walk around the room, I spot a Mother Goose fairy tale book on a shelf. It's not exactly a rare book, but it seems slightly familiar. I flip it open and immediately notice that it's in awful condition. The books have turned brown years ago and the cover could fall apart at any moment. I wonder how long it's been here forgotten in a corner of the archives. I'm sure I read this as a kid. But that was a picture book. Put the pages carefully, taking care not to let the pages crumble. Sound of the paper sliding roughly over each other feels rather nostalgic. Komaki approaches from the other aisle.
私は中学の時かな。童謡なのに結構シュールな内容だったりするんだよね。
Some of the lyrics were quite difficult to understand for a kid like me. Thought the lyrics were rather interesting
そうよ
too.
ね。舌がもつれるような。
Wonder why she looks so happy. Speaking of which, you're not very good at tongue twisters, are you?
そんなことないよ。
She says as she turns to head back to work. Almost missed the single bead of sweat rolling down her forehead. Alright. She sells seashells?
やだな。勘弁してよ。
You can't do it.
ちょっと待てよ。
Komaki turns back to me with a forced smile on his face.
それではバスガス爆発。ほら大丈夫でしょ。
She looks relieved. You practiced that under your breath just now.
してないしてない。こんなの簡単だよ。バスガス爆発。ほら。
Repeat that 3 times.
う
Beads of sweat begin to form on her
や
cheeks.
だな。そんなの簡単なんだもん。
Let's say it.
じゃあ行くよ。
Komaki places her fists in front of her mouth and clears her throat.
バスガス爆発。バスガスポポン。
Komaki laughs nervously while scratching her head.
なんだっけ忘れちゃった。
You really forgot? Sounded a bit weird towards the end, but she sells seashells by the seashore 3 times.
同じの3回よね。うん。バスガス爆発。バスガス爆発。
She nods repeatedly to make sure.
バスバスバスバス。ガスガスガスガス爆発爆発。大丈夫。それバスガス爆発。バスガス爆発。爆発。そう。
Now we get back to work.
そうだよね。
Looks like Komaki sucks at full-blown tongue twisters. We turn our eyes away awkwardly and walk to our respective aisles. Back to work we go. Quickly notice a quiet murmur floating through the room, almost like a prayer. Since there's just us in the archives at the moment, it's clear whose voice it is. The voice continues as we work. I strain my ears to try and catch what she's mumbling on the other side of the shelf.
バスガス爆発。
She hasn't given
バ
up.
スガス爆発。バスガス爆発。
She says each word one by one, making sure not to make any mistakes. Quietly listen to her.
バスガス爆発。バスガス爆発。
Blaukraut bleibt Blaukraut und Brautkleid bleibt Brautkleid. Messed up at the end, motherfucker. Blaukraut bleibt Blaukraut und Brautkleid bleibt Brautkleid. I also can't do them, if you haven't noticed. I was already surprised that I managed to say she sells seashells by the seashore so quickly.
バスガス爆発。バスガス爆発。バスガス爆発。
Painful
バスガ
silence.
ス爆発。バスガス爆発。
I think you're starting to get a bit obsessed about this. I can just imagine her cringing at herself with each word. As she finally given up, I can no longer hear her mumbling, so I decided to take a peek at her face through the gap in the shelves.
バスガス爆発。
Oh.
バスガス爆発。
She's repeating it word by
バ
word
ス
again.
ガス爆発。
Looks like she's tripping up at the punctuation too.
バスガス爆発。バスガス爆発。バスガス爆発。バスガス爆発。バスガス爆発。バスガス爆発。
She was so close. Did you bite her tongue? Even I can feel the taste of blood in my mouth.
痛い。
There are things in this world not worth wasting your time on. I realized this a while ago. Komagi's the type who struggles on regardless, no matter the cost. She even forgets to pay attention to her surroundings when immersed in a tragic internal battle like this one. But it looks like even she has realized that her efforts were futile after
バ
all.
ス
Huh?
バス
She's still not done?
バスバスガスガスバスバスバスガスガスガスバスバスバスバスガスガスガスガス
So persistent. Must have been a mosquito in a past life.
バスガス爆発バスガス爆発
She hesitates after saying it
バスガ
twice.
ス爆発バスガス爆発バスガス爆発バスガス爆発バスガス爆発バスガス爆発バスガス爆発バスガス爆発バスガス爆発バスガス爆発バスガス爆発バスガ
Looks like she's finally got it. She continues to recite it for a while, reveling in her victory.
河野くん
As the day comes to an end, she starts getting ready to head home. We start getting ready to get home when Komaki approaches me. From her eagerly confident tone, I have a fair idea what she wants to talk
さっ
about.
き話してた早口言葉のことなんだけど
Komaki stops there and taps her chest lightly. She looks awfully pleased with herself. She's gonna fuck it up.
あれはちょっと調子が出なかっただけで今度は任せて
Really?
問題ないよ
Alright then. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
うん今日も一日お疲れ様でした
Good work again today. I'm leaving. Incha bows somewhat dramatically. Thank you. Hiding my bitter smile, I also bow slightly. As I bow, she puts on a similar smile.
早口言葉は苦手じゃないんですよただ私セリフを覚えるのが時間かかるからいきなり言われるととちっちゃうだけですもん
Oh, really?
ああ信じてないですね本当なんですから見ててくださいよ明日までには隣の竹垣くらい楽勝になってますから
Ho ho.
もう
The two of us continued to joke around on the way home. Spent the whole day trying to outdo each other. Speaking of which, since when do we start talking to each other so casually? It's kind of hard to believe we were so awkward walking home together not too long ago. However, even now we both get flustered when we accidentally touch each other. A voice calls out down the corridor. Komaki and I stop and
ちょ
look
っとご
around.
めん
Komaki waves to a girl panting and running down the other corridor towards us. While the girl waits to catch her breath, she tries to communicate using hasty hand gestures. Seems he's referring to tomorrow's club
今日のう
activity.
ちはどうにもならないから明日一番に
Komaki instructs the girl who nods and
お
understands.
待たせごめんなさい
She starts walking again, but stops when she notices I haven't started walking yet. She looks back at me and give her a sour look. Must be tough being Incho all the time.
そうでもないですよ
No matter how you look at it, that just now wasn't part of your job. To an outsider, it would be inappropriate to point that out to Komaki, but I can't leave it unsaid. Even Komaki herself is probably aware of it, but refuses to mention it. Surely confirming the club's plans was the responsibility of the club leader himself, not even you know that. I hesitate slightly as a troubled expression creeps across her face. I relax the scowl on my face and didn't mean to be so harsh. You're really overworking yourself. You put your heart and soul into helping others, but how much gratitude do you get in return? I decide to shut up before I say something really nasty. However, Komaki doesn't look upset by my words. She tilts her head slightly and looks at me.
じゃあ河野くんはどうして私を手伝ってくれるの
That's because it's you.
得してるでしょ
She smiles gently. Can't think of anything else to say. So that's how it is. Komaki putting it in this much effort is trivial. Didn't really understand her philosophy of comparing your situation to other people's misfortunes. Traveling the thorny road when the skies are blue. That's the kind of person Komaki is. That day was the first time we walked together as far as our destinations would allow us. Oh, we don't actually have Prez today. Oh, it's this event again. This one event was nice. I say that every time we skip past this. Which, I mean, I'm saying this for the third time now. Once when we first viewed it, then once when he skipped past the last route, and then once now. Oh, Prez is absent again. Oh. Koike burned down his house again. Prez is absent again. Prez is absent again. What should there be like one route where you actually need to go with another character at least once or something and be fucked that up consistently over and over again and not getting into the route? No, we're not going to Konami. I still can't whistle. I'm so bad at it. Ah. Oh, Jesus Christ, got like... How many next time, I promise. Of course, I promise. It won't be like... It totally won't be like a fucking multiple word lines later. Don't worry about it. That's all the eyes. Yes, I had to specifically pay attention there. Why, black, of course. Incho is not back. Skip. Oh my god, I just saw that someone posted like a picture of Iono and it's just like, Nyo ho ho, so you wanna get your eyeballs on my double D's, eh? Well, and the next picture, it's just Iono holding up 2 double D batteries with this look on her face. Yes, peak comedy, clearly. Oh, I just noticed that. Bad. I forgot to turn. It's so annoying frequently because I have essentially whenever I'm in my room laying in my bed, I inadvertently use up my fucking mobile connection. Because for some reason our internet, like our Wi-Fi, is just being real fucky when I'm in my room, and I don't know why. Oh yeah, now we're being forced to clean shit. Where's my Mahjong Soul? There's my Mahjong Soul. Right, for some reason it's trying to tell me to do fucking tutorial, even though, you know, I've been playing this game from before the tutorial became a thing, so it doesn't really do anything. Shit, I just started a match. Oh well, I can multitask! Help. Give that away as well. Oh, I'm so happy I didn't give away the red dragon. School's over. The atmosphere in the corridor feels tense. Most of the freshmen don't know if they're supposed to go straight home or stick around for club activities. In fact, most of them haven't even chosen a club yet. The students wander aimlessly around the school grounds, crowding around classrooms at random looking for help. Mixed in amongst the freshmen are a couple of seniors trying to keep them calm. I recognize one of them and call out to her. She runs over quickly. Komaki, nice work. Oh, no, I don't want to do pun. I forgot I also have to pay attention for puns and stuff like that. And I don't want to do pun. Pun is for the weak. Why play mahjong if you cannot richi? What's that noise? Ooh, another 6. Nice. I might actually be going for. Might actually be able to go for peers. I mean, it works, but at the same time, it's not really what I want. So, fuck that. Someone drop like a south tile or something so I can just throw it. Oh, wait, no, a south tile is in the bunker. It's not a bunker, it's like the fucking thing up. Like, because every time you play Mahjong, 5 of them are, ooh, Richi, Richi. Give me a Richi with a green dragon. Come on, people always discard green dragons in this. Okay, it's probably gonna take a while. Komaki stumbles over her own feet. I regret my decision immediately. I was just greeting her casually. I didn't mean to interrupt her duties to talk to her. Go on, go on. She bowed with a bitter smile on her face. Sumo. Well, it's not my problem. She seems like she's doing okay. I missed how many points I got. Oh, Jesus Christ! Everyone's down by a lot. It looks like the ruckus might take a while to die down, busy as always, even though the year has just started. She runs back into the fray, leaving me alone. Richie full concealed head, 7 pairs Uradora, and 800 point Hanneman. Someone listened to that and has no idea what the fuck I was even saying. Ooh, I already have 2 white dragons in hand. Oh, there's the third. We like to see it happen. We love to see it even. Drop the east tile. Eastern one is technically always a winning hand, but why the fuck should I give a shit about eastern tile? Like east wind, I mean. There's already red dragon dropped. I'm not going for that. It's April, and students seem to have settled down rather nicely. Most of the freshmen have decided on what clubs to join, and the number of aimless students wandering the corridors has dropped drastically. That's an 8. I don't really want an 8, though. Speaking of which, I've noticed that the hubbub caused by the sports activities on the school grounds has gotten louder by approximately 50%. What an impressive margin. Ooh, Kan. I will go for Kan. No, I don't go Chi. Don't want it. Don't need that. I need to stop this, but I can't. Pawn, sure. Give me a pawn. Well, I can't win with a 6 right now. If I wanted to. Run! Anyways. Kuma. I stopped myself mid-sentence from the sweat running down her brow to frantically pacing her across the corridor. She appears to be busy with something. She runs past me as if I wasn't invisible. I'm a bit surprised at how focused she is. Anyway, her duties are none of my business. But for how long she is going to keep... But for how long is she going to keep trying to deal with the freshman issue? Probably organizing some sort of practice match to be played during Golden Week or something as usual. A lone figure dashes around a corner and disappears from sight. I missed something. Alright. This time, White Dragon, Red 5, and that's it. But hey, points are points. And I am playing after a battle, which means after someone someone finishes their hand, it doesn't end. So, literally just excluding myself from getting fucked by other people is optimal. Now let's drop all the special tiles. Don't want them. Don't want that 8 actually. Anyways. I'll take the 8. Say 8, say 8, say 8, say 8. I don't know where that came from. Drop the 1s. Don't want them. Skip. I can focus on the game again. Nice. Don't want 9s. Ask for Tamanias. Nightmare, 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 nightmare. No. No. Oh. No. 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 I should drop 7. 7 is literally not helping me right now. 3 neither actually. Ooh, nice. Now I win if I just... it's an... Okay, literally no one got a winning hand that round. It's just me with an exhaustive draw. All last! Okay, classes are over. Up until yesterday, the school grounds have been so noisy you'd think the cultural festival happened in advance. However, everything seems to be calm today. But by now, the freshmen are all in the club and activities that they're choosing. The wave of activities that always occurs at the beginning of the new year has passed. No, actually, no. I'm gambling. I'm a gambling man. I regret everything. I wonder if Komaki has finally been relieved of her committee duties. Ah! Speak of the devil, I wasn't expecting that. Jeez, you shouldn't sneak up behind me like that. No, don't worry, I was just kidding. I shrugged nonchalantly. So, how'd your day go? She looks a bit tired. She didn't work too hard. Despite being slightly out of breath, she looks rather pleased with her work. She stumbles at saying any more, then looks up in my face inquiringly. Komaki's face goes red as she fumbles her words. I wonder if it's something like, please don't come to the archives anymore. Surely I was pretty useful, even if I did say so. I'm too believing myself. We don't do cheese around here. Komaki hesitates. Next thing she says comes flying out like a hard-boiled egg. God damn it! Me calling a goddamn... Me calling Ricci actually got someone else to win. I'm so mad. Huh? What? Oh, there's like 40 tiles left, so I've got time right now. What did you just say? No, 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 it's not I don't want to. It's not a bother. If anything, it makes me happy knowing how you feel, but how am I supposed to answer such a request? Someone else? But hang on, huh? That's pretty weird. We never really talked about anything between us, did we? What are you talking about? Fidgety and Komaki steals it up from me. Shopping. I feel blood rush into my face. All hope drains out of me in an instant. You should have mentioned that first! Looks like she finally realizes what she said. That's just Ricci Uradora, but hey, points are points. Match end, and I win, because I always do. I hope, you know what, I'm just gonna show you what I have to suffer through sometimes. You know, I'll just casually spend my day and Sonny Morgan sends me shit like this. It looks like she finally realized what she said. Komaki's eyes cross and she goes beet red at the same time. She frantically waves her arms around. Komaki goes on like a battery-operated toy beating on a drum. No, I just misunderstood you. Komaki denies it so violently that I feel a bit depressed. Okay, okay, I get it. You don't have to be so adamant. I mutter without thinking. Komaki starts flailing thrice as hard. After the confusion settles down, I eventually decide to go shopping with Komaki. Our destination is the department store in front of the station. We're buying stuff for the school, so it is technically official business. As soon as we leave the school gate, Komaki stops walking. Well, that's one triumphant look. The Go Home Club have already gone home, and those with real club activities are still at school, so this bus schedule separates us from the other students. Regardless, we're surrounded by school uniforms at the bus stop. Uh-huh. So, what are we buying? Komaki tries to remember. Komaki looks rather serious. Looks like she can't switch out of class president mode even outside school. We haven't been to the archives since April, but that hasn't changed the way she acts one bit. I knew it'd be impossible for her to change so suddenly. Just then, I feel the air rushing past as the bus arrives. We're quickly swept up by the crowd as they move into the bus. This bus is shakier than I imagined. I'm holding on by a handhold while Komaki holds onto the edge of the seat. Both of us are contorted awkwardly, pressed against the other passengers. This deserves to be an Olympic sport. Did you ever notice that Komaki is sandwiched between two guys? Her face is going red and she's having difficulty breathing. I forcibly grab her hand and yank her towards me. I shove both hands and make a spot just big enough for Komaki. Komaki rubs her chest, believed to have some breathing room. Nah, it was nothing. I stop mid-sentence and catch my breath. I've only just realized how close her face is to mine. Komaki frantically tries to hold her head and reposition it, but the bus jerks all of a sudden, causing her to bury her face in my chest even more. I almost forget to breathe. In a blink of an eye, her neck becomes stained with red. I realize I'm staring at it and quickly avert my gaze upward. Neither of us moves a muscle. The bus continues to move, oblivious to our struggles. Her breath, I can feel it on my abdomen. With her body this close, I try my best to slow my heartbeat. I'm not sure if it's possible, but Komaki will hear it for sure if I don't figure out a way. Komaki's fists are right on my chest, and her body is stiff as a board. This is point-blank rage. I can't hide anything! Suddenly, the crowd begins to jostle. All of us, packed like sardines, begin moving towards the exit. Stop number 7! Komaki somehow manages to call out to confirm our stop. We arrive in front of the station quicker than I expected. Does time pass faster the closer you are to a girl? Or is this effect specific to Komaki? We don't need to travel any further. We pay our fare and shove our way through the crowd towards the exit. Komaki's face is still red. Wonder what I'd look like right now. I try to catch a glimpse of my reflection in her eyes. Might be imagination, but I think I look worse. I look away to hide my embarrassment. Where are we going? It's not exact peak hour for shopping, but the place is thriving with students on their way home. Amongst them were a few girls in the uniform Komaki was wearing till last month. What? Besides, there seem to be a lot of girls here. It feels a bit awkward escorting Komaki here. I feel my face getting hot once again. She says and pulls out some sort of memo from her bag. Shopping list? Komaki mumbles while looking at the scrap of paper. Peek at it from the other side. XLT? I'm looking at it upside down. One of their English English characters that I can read without too much difficulty. But I don't know what they mean. What's this? Is that like the product number? Huh? What do you mean by I think? I couldn't make out anything just from the number. We should probably ask the shopkeeper. Probably pulls out another memo from her bag, bring our heads close together and look down at the paper. Can you read it? Is this your writing? This too? Looks like a requested item number. Hang on, how many of these next ones do we have? Komaki pulls out a third memo from her bag. Komaki answers indifferently. Another one. That's way too many. Wait, does this list include CDs? At this point, she's just being used. But Komaki doesn't seem to mind. Komaki pulls out some sort of card from her purse. Now I get it. A powerful woman. I underestimated you. After that, the two of us wandered around the shops, occasionally asking the clerks for help. We slowly worked our way through the list. Without fail, she would get a receipt for each item. This is money, is obviously what she was thinking. There's no mistaking it. In the end, Komaki appears to have gotten everything. Sure. Although I took a sec to respond, it wasn't because I didn't want to go. It's because I noticed Komaki's expression darkened slightly. However, as soon as I answered, her expression cleared up. After that, she returns to her usual bright smiling face. Did I get sucked in by that bubble and her face clouded over? It was just my imagination. I flipped my head and followed Komaki down the escalators. We take the escalator down to the lowest floor. Looks like we're headed to the food court. I stop the entryway and ask without thinking. Hungry? Despite her strong denial, I'm not convinced. I'm sure she'd love some afternoon tea right about now. Komaki scans the floor, advancing slowly. I follow closely behind. Komaki puts her hands behind her back and walks along cheerfully. Even though we're underground, it feels like we're taking a stroll along a river embankment bathed by sunlight. Silently listen to Komaki's words, lending a sympathetic ear. She says as she gently closes her eyes. All sorts of ways. I don't think appetite really deserves to sound so grandiose, but I wouldn't ruin the atmosphere with a jab like that. I wonder if she's recalling some traumatic memories. A bit of smile creeps across her face, and for an instant she looks on the verge of tears. What should I say at times like these? When someone shows me the skeletons lurking in their closet, what am I supposed to do? Unfortunately, I can give no reply. Komaki walks slowly as though contemplating each step before suddenly coming to a halt. She silently turns to face me. The shadows on her face have been wiped clean, and in their place, her cheeks are painted bright red. Although she was in the middle of saying something, she seems to have messed up her words again. Finally, she opens her mouth with a look of determination in her eyes.
やっぱり一つだけ。
Komaki's wistful eyes are looking straight ahead at the Oran's Place desserts. Skip! I just noticed that the drink package that Koromi had said it said Guro. And I don't think you want to drink that. Be gone, devil. Stop moving so much, can't aim between the eyes. God fucking damn it, I can't. Schoolgate. The road is bright with warm, gentle sunlight. The breeze brushes lazily across my skin. It was too good to waste by walking straight home. I've been praying for a day like this for a while, but never really thought about what I'd do if it actually happened. How about the park? Maybe the shopping district? I contemplate my choices as I walk down the road. But a second, isn't that Komaki? I recognize the figure from behind. She's not too far ahead. Quick my pace and stop next to her. Hey?
すっごい偶然ですね。
Where are you going? Doesn't look like you're going
買い
home.
出しです。
Again.
はい、またです。
She says gleefully.
新学期はどこも物入りで、
She looks a bit less reserved than usual. Where
今日
to?
は商店街です。
In that case, it's not far. Let's go together.
そんな悪いです。
Ah, she's back to normal. I was thinking of going there anyway. Each time I get serious, Komaki one-ups
たび
me.
たびごめんなさいです。
I ignore her apology and start walking. Komaki follows beside me.
桜の花びらっておひたしにすると美味しそうなんですけど、ソメイヨシノと八重桜のどっちが？
Eventually, discussion wanders to the blooming of cherry trees.
ここでストップです。
We're in the front of the hill, right next to the bus stop. There are a few students waiting here.
バス代はきっちりもぎ取ってきましたから。
Komaki has that triumphant look on her again. Hey, we're here.
今日はバス空いてましたね。
Yeah. So, where we headed?
本屋さんです。
Look at where Komaki's pointing to. Roger. By the way, would you even call a thief son, Komaki? Would you call even a thief's son, Komaki?
しないんですか？
We go into the bookstore armed with a small shopping basket and a list, placing the items in as we go.
至急必要なものだけですから。
We repeatedly check the list as we pass by the aisles. It would be more efficient if we split up, but I suppose it's more fun this way. Komaki appears calm and collected, free of pandemonium that is the start of the school year. It's good to see the old Komaki back, but the archives is still on my mind. Neither of us have brought up the topic yet.
河野くん、ズーフという人知ってます？
Komaki suddenly asks me while she browses the dictionary section.
江戸時代に出島のオランダ商館の館長をしていた人です。オランダ語の和訳辞書を作ったことで有名なんですよ。
Really? Komaki's holding a Dutch-Japanese dictionary in her
物
hand.
好きな役人が作った一冊の辞書が当時の日本人にとって西洋文化を学ぶのにどれだけ役立ったか。
Komaki wistfully gazes past me before returning to me with a smile on her face.
どんなに古ぼけていてもそれを必要とする人は必ずいるはずです。
At that moment, I had no idea what she was talking
こ
about.
れです。忘れちゃいけないもの。
What?
バーコー
What's
ドの上
that?
に貼るシールです。
Komaki couldn't stop thinking about the archives. Komaki.
だいたいこんなところですね。
Komaki puts the list in her skirt pocket, and then silence. Our shopping trip is over. Komaki will go back to school, and I'll go home. Reluctant to leave it at that. Neither of us say anything about parting ways. We both stand there awkwardly for a while. Eventually, Komaki turns to me, looking slightly embarrassed.
それじゃ
You know,
あ、はい。
how about we go somewhere for a bit? Komaki's eyes widen. Komaki usually apologizes in response to unexpected development, restrains from doing so this time. We've got some time to spare, that is?
大丈夫です。急いでませんから。支給といっても必要になるのが出入り業者が来るより先ってだけで。
Komaki bursts into a long, convoluted explanation. Would have been easier if she just said okay, which is what her response was essentially boiled down to.
だから忙しくありません。はい。
Komaki looks at me inquisitively after firmly nodding to herself.
それでどこに入ります？
Huh? I didn't really think about where we would go if she said yes. I quickly scanned the area for something of interest. As we go, a cafe. The only place I've been to around here is Yaku. So in the end, how about Yaku? Can't think of anything else. I cringed at my own suggestion. To be able to think of somewhere else to invite a girl to, I'd have to have been there before. I have zero life
私
experience.
焼くの好きですよ。
However, Komaki doesn't seem
ポ
to
テ
mind.
トフライが絶品なんですよね。
Yeah, I think so too. Especially with the price, they're amazing. Huh? Yakudo? Usually call McDonald's Yaku. Komaki, did you really grow up around
そ
here?
うですよ。いいですよ。
No, I'm the one who invited you.
そんな申し訳ないです。
Now listen. As we queue up, we continue quarreling quietly. The debate this time is about the bill. Being the person who invited her, I insist that I pay for both of us, but Komaki won't accept it. But you weren't planning on coming here in the first
い
place.
え、そんなことありませんよ。
As we inched forward in line, I realized that I'm fighting a losing battle. In the end, we agree to pay for our own portions. However, that's not the last of our
う
problems.
ー
We
ん。
finally arrived at the counter, but Komaki still hasn't decided what she wants to order. Luckily, there's no one behind us. What do you have in mind?
はい。あれとあれなんですけど。
Komaki frantically scans the menu while mumbling. Under those circumstances, a random choice will do. Basically, you want either French fries or apple pie,
は
right?
い。ポテトもいいんですけど、今日はそっちの気分でして。
I'm a bit surprised hearing that from Komaki, who would normally put up with anything. Look at the menu behind the counter. You can only swap the French fries for apple pie on the L set menu.
私は M セットで十分なんですけど。
Komaki is causing herself nothing but trouble. However, since there's two of us, there's a simple solution. In that case, I can get the L set menu and we can exchange.
でもそんな悪いですし。
For a moment, she looks ecstatic, but before shaking her head in dejection. I was planning on getting the L set menu from the
でも
start.
河野くんのポテトが小さくなっちゃう。じゃあ差額払います。
There's no need for that.
ダメですよ。そんな悪いです。
We're going around in circles, just like the debate we had in line. Geez, she's stubborn as a rock, but it's not over yet. I've got one last trick up my sleeve. I think about it for a bit before making a ring with my thumb and middle finger close to her face. Hey.
Oh.
I release my middle finger with the slightest amount of strength and hit her in the forehead. In other words, a flick to the forehead. One strike wasn't enough to repay her, though. This time, I bring both my hands forward and unload a barrage of flicks. Hey.
Oh.
That'll show her. Despite having to resort to physical force, I find her internal conflict about the fries slightly endearing. By no means does this mean I'm enjoying punishing her. Hey.
やめて。河野くん、やめて。
People need that once in a while for their own good. Eventually, she frowns like a child being scolded.
はーい。
After a short period of silence, Komaki grudgingly nods.
そうなんですよ。こっちが片付いたからってどんどん仕事を回してきて。
Komaki waves a straw around, raising her voice enthusiastically to explain. Here we are inside Yaku, and Komaki is explaining the shape of things to come in the new school terms to the surrounding tables. After speaking fervently for a while, Komaki breathes a sigh of relief and lifts her drink to take a sip. The straw is finally going in to be used for its intended
こん
purpose.
なに一度に話したの久しぶりです。
Komaki says that in good spirits. While Komaki is busy looking around, I wonder if she notices we haven't really talked much. Well, I guess it's nice to see she can speak freely like this.
河野くんってあまり食べないんですね。
Sure enough, Komaki's eaten a lot more of a burger than I have, even though she's been talking the whole time. There isn't even a huge difference in the size of the burgers between the L and M set menus. Regardless, I can't recall Komaki actually eating any of her burger. I wonder where it went. Can't even remember her eating a single bite. I'm a bit confused as I decide to watch her carefully.
食欲ないんですか?
Komaki tilts her head in concern. Nah, it's not that. I hastily stuff the burger in my mouth. As I do so, I take my eyes off her for a second, for just an instant before looking back at her. What? The apple pie is gone. It's not there anymore. Was it kidnapped? No, remember she packed it away to bring it home. It's in her mouth! That's some scary ancient magic. Anyways, I'll BRB. Toilet. I am back, and Kitty followed me down here, actually. I didn't have to drag him down here. Nah, he actually came along on his own accord this time. Let's see how long it'll take for him to piss off. Don't go down there, that's fucking dusty. Oh, right, almost forgot. Hold on. Alright, nice and cozy again. Cat's just doing something back there for some fucking reason. Fuck he doing? Get the fuck down from there! People are going to also be exponentially more angry at me now because the door's open, so the cat's in here. Was größt denn rum? Ja, Cody. Was größt denn rum? He came out of the abyss. Come here. Kijk, du bist da. In der Kamera. Nicht da hinschauen, da hinschauen. Now, be gone. Oh yeah, it's actually just full on leaving. Bye bye. Komaki lets out a short shriek before crouching, so her eyes are barely above the table. Huh? What? I quickly do the same and turn to see what she's looking at. I spot a couple wearing the same uniform as us at another table. Why is Komaki so worried? They're just students like us. Komaki lets out a cough in response to the heat of the apple pie. Surely that's no reason to hide. They're the same as us. I muttered to Komaki, who just lowers herself further and whispers. No. I shake my head slightly in response to her question. Couldn't see their faces. They're probably freshmen. I can't see clearly what they're doing from where we're hidden. The guy seems to be nervously surveying the area. Komaki looks around seriously. Are we peeping Toms? I don't think she heard me. Eventually the guy seems to find an opening where he thinks no one is looking, unaware that we're watching his every move. For a brief moment their lips meet, and surprisingly they both begin blushing furiously. They get up from their seats and leave. When their shadows finally disappear from sight, we raise our heads together. We both let out a big sigh. Anyone else see what we just did? My heart can't stop pounding. Komaki holds her red cheeks in the palms of her hands.
映画のワンシーンみたい。
The words slowly come out of Komaki's mouth. I nod unconsciously in response. Since we left Yaku's, Komaki's been sighing at random intervals. Guess we're going back now. Initially, it felt pretty good on the way back, but since we saw the couple, Komaki has reverted back to her serious melancholic nature. I feel like we're back to the archives again. The haul from the day's shopping wasn't very big. I figured Komaki wanted to ask me to help her out. In the end, she didn't seem to be able to bring herself to
こ
ask.
こでいいです。私は学校に戻らなくちゃいけないから。
But Komaki raised a hand and
大
stopped
した
me.
荷物じゃありませんから。
Seems strange to ask me not to carry them for her. And it would definitely be weird if I followed her all the way back to school for something so minor. Okay? Bye. Eventually, we exit the shopping district and part ways. I glance repeatedly at the bus as Komaki boards, unable to come to grips with what's on my mind. Is it the Seven Seas again? No, it's Can't Sleep. Cookbook again. We always go in cookbook. The cooking book. I'm just naturally going to assume y'alls don't know what the cooking book is. Give a definite reply. There's a fancy little spell in D&D called Heat Metal. I think you can already guess what that means, what that is. Essentially, what you do is you have someone that can cast heat metal. Put him on a horse. And then just home in on the target that you want to, unalive. Ideally a target wearing metal armor. Actually, it needs to be metal armor. And cast heat metal on the plate mail. The effect of heat metal is that anyone that touches the metal takes guaranteed damage, and if it's an object they are holding, they need to succeed on a check to not drop it. And additionally, as long as they are in contact with metal, they have disadvantage on attack checks. Now here's the fun thing about plate mail. It takes 10 minutes to doff. I think. Hold on. Arm. D&D armor. Yeah. Donning and doffing armor. Light armor takes 1 minute to don and 1 minute to doff. Medium armor takes 5 minutes to don and 1 minute to doff. Heavy armor takes 10 minutes to don and 5 minutes to doff. Okay, it's 5 minutes, but... what? That's 50 rounds? Like, 1 round is 6 seconds. Which means in 1 minute, there's already 10 rounds. Now let's look up heat metal. Heat metal. 5th edition. Heat metal, 2nd level transmutation. Casting time, 1 action. Range, 60 feet. Target, a manufactured metal object that you can see within the range. Components, verbal, semantic, and material. The material opponent being a piece of iron and a flame, which you can ignore if you just have a spell focus. Duration, concentration up to 1 minute. Classes are Bard and Druid. Choose a manufactured metal object, such as a metal weapon or a suit of heavy or medium metal armor that you can see within range. You cause the object to glow red hot.
Any creature in physical contact with the object takes 2d8 fire damage when you cast the spell. Until the spell ends, you can use a bonus action on each of your subsequent turns to cause this damage again. If a creature is holding or wearing the object and takes damage from it, the creature must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or drop the object if it can. If it doesn't drop the object, it has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks until the start of your next turn. At higher levels, when you cast a spell using a spell slot of 3rd level or higher, the damage increases by 1d8 for each slot above 2nd. So you just cook people. That's it, you cook people alive. Just until they are nice and well done.
Yuji appears in front of my desk as soon as the bell rings. Looks like he hasn't brought his own lunch and wants company. Sure. Coincidentally, I was planning on getting lunch from the cafeteria too. I shoved my hands into my pockets and get up from the chair. Suddenly remember something to stop halfway. No. How about a bread roll? That's something I want to talk about. Here should be fine. Having bought our rolls and drinks from the cafeteria, we head to the rear of the school building. We should have gone to the rooftop instead, but it's usually crowded. He may not be the best listener in the world, but he'll do. We both sit down on the grass beneath the tree. Yuji asks me while tearing over the packaging of his chicken sandwich. Pull the ring on my canned juice open and take a sip. You know. Yuji's mouth is already stuffed full. How could someone go about communicating smoothly with girls? Yuji takes a moment to understand what I just said before spurting out his canned coffee mixed with bits of half-chewed chicken with incredible force. After repeatedly pounding his chest, he managed to regain control of his breathing and gazes at the scraps of chicken roll along the ground. Yuji mumbles as if though it was someone else's fault and turns to me. Don't try and cover it up, you heard me clearly. Yuji wipes his mouth on his sleeve and surveys the area. Seriously? I raise my voice slightly. Yuji responds by grinning unpleasantly. I knew asking you for advice would be a dumb idea. You already are. Yuji grabs my hand to stop me just as I stand up to leave. I reluctantly sit down. It was me who dragged him out here to talk. It would be rude to leave now. I didn't say that I had a girlfriend or was in love with anyone or anything. I haven't said anything like that. Yuji switches attention to the chicken sandwich in his hands. Don't overwhelm me. You said you'd take me seriously. Go on. Yuji's listening, but can't get the words out of my mouth. Can't explain it any more than that. I just don't understand how you can talk to them as naturally as you talk to guys. Feeling slightly unnerved, all I can do is nod. What do you mean, old man? Actually, I found out today that there are 2 separate ToHeart2 animes. By today, I meant yesterday. And for some reason, the first one that I saw, I guess it was made before the official, like, design for the ToHeart2 MC became public, essentially. Because he's like black hair for one and all that, which he done he don't do that, he doesn't have that. fuck does Ikuno-Route only mean? Apparently it's voiced by Kaji Yuki, which is someone, I guess. Must be the VN. That must be the anime voice actor as well, probably. Yeah, actually, it's Issei. It's fucking Issei. It's God fucking damn it. And someone from Tokimeki Memorial, apparently. Oh well. Scala particularly wishing that Yuji could just read my mind. Yuji turns to me and smiles.
どうして女の子と自然にそんな質問が出てくる時点で自然じゃねえわけだけどな。
In that case, the discussion is
高
over.
明は大げさに考えすぎなんじゃねえのか。だから多分それがいけねえんだよ。俺も別に深く考えたことなんてねえし。
Yuji shrugs
ま、
nonchalantly.
女の子と話すときは陽気にやってりゃ問題ねえさ。向こうだっていきなり深刻になられても困るだろうからな。
Problem is what to talk to them about.
緊張するってのか？
And not begrudgingly too embarrassed to answer verbally. Don't you,
い
Yuji?
や別に全然ないわけじゃねえけど、別に嫌われたっていいんじゃねえの？女の一人や二人。
Isn't that so much worse?
何言ってるんだよ。向こうだって同じなんだぜ。女の考えてることも案外こっちと似たり寄ったり。ただ男とは裏表ってだけさ。
Yuji goes on joking till the bitter end. Can't really relate with him on everything, but what he's saying is probably right. When it comes to Komaki, things always get rather uncomfortable when I try to talk about something serious. However, that's something that don't think I'd be able to shrug off. Indeed, I no longer think that's something I can just ignore anymore. Neither of us seem to be too worried about that just so far. However, that's probably why I'm unable to get closer to Komaki. In the end, we're always just rambling over the same pointless things, over and over. Bell rings, signaling the end of lunch. He dusts off the ground and stand up.
高木、
Yuji tugs at my sleeve with an inquisitive look on his
やっ
face.
ぱりいるんだろ。イニシャルだけでも教えろよ。
How did you know? Oh no, it's the dumb and the danger again. I really want to use the dumb and the danger as like the title one of these days, but I kind of feel like I already missed the fucking chance. Anyways, I bump into Komaki on the way to the archives. She is walking in the same direction. Perhaps we're both heading to the same place. Today? Conversation ends abruptly as we begin walking side by side. This is the first time we're going to the archives since the year started, and I notice a couple of students taking quick glances at us. As I think about it, this is the first time we're walking together in a crowded corridor. From the right, Komaki's body stiffens up beside me. I can tell she realizes it too. For some reason, Komaki slaps her cheeks with both hands. I was spit it out, but why? Komaki continues to walk as though nothing happened, despite her painfully red cheeks. It looks like she was trying to summon a bit of courage within her or something. Komaki continues to walk silently.
ゆっくりしてて。
Like to imagine he was just walking normally, and suddenly he's just like, and just walks on like this for like a solid few seconds before just. She says, pointing to the lounge. Komaki firmly locks the door behind her. She then proceeds to pace around the room, looking behind bookshelves and under the desks to ensure nobody else is around. What on earth is she doing? What on earth is she up to? She's acting a bit strange today. Stationing herself beside the sofa, she composes herself and returns to
お
normal.
待たせしました。楽にしててください。
Am I a guest today? She also sounds really formal. I'll jump back in time to when I first came here. Maybe she has amnesia? She seemed okay earlier though. We're finally here, so shouldn't we return to the work we missed while on okay vacation?
いえ、今日はいいんです。あ、まずはお茶にしましょうか。
Eh? Okay. Without waiting for a response, Komaki heads off to the kitchen. Having no other choice, I sit down on the sofa. Komaki's politeness feels slightly unnerving. Maybe I'm just too sensitive to smoke and there's no fire? Not being very useful, nor am I paying for the tea. Maybe the reason Komaki has been feeling down lately is because I'm being a burden. I'm not useful to her. Maybe I should just go home instead of interfering.
お待たせしました。
Wisps of amber vapor rise from the cups of Darjeeling tea next to the plate of soft cakes. You know, I...
どうぞ。
No, but I...
いいからいいから。
Komaki puts on a smile and insists I try the tea. What's going on? I have no choice but to shut my mouth and reach for the teacup. Tea and vapor fills my mouth. Tastes delicious as usual. Slowly exhale with a sigh, however I'm far from relaxed. It's like I'm not the only one who feels like running away. Komaki is also fidgeting comfortably in her sofa. Looks like Komaki wants to tell me something. Expression is a strange mixture of delight and fright, her eyes staring at me apprehensively. Komaki can't seem to break the ice. Komaki leans forward slightly. Is she about to stand up? In response to the change in my surroundings, I unconsciously stiffen up. What's she gonna do?
お茶のおかわりはいかが？
Wrong, that was anticlimactic. Yeah, I guess. With the tea situation under control, the silence once again continues. I wanna run away. If I knew what she wanted to talk about, would I be able to break the ice? Finish my second serving. Before she asking for another serving, I get up from the sofa. Shall we get to work now?
あの
Komaki once again raised her voice, probably in response to my attempt to start
あの
moving. We both remains frozen in place for a few seconds. After hesitating for a while longer, Komaki finally looks up at me, curiously opens her mouth.
間違ってたらごめんなさいなんですけど、
Yeah?
河野くん、女の子苦手だよね。
Huh?
違った？
Nope, it's a bit hard to say yes to a question like that without dying of embarrassment. I guess you could say that. I suddenly noticed Komaki's expression. She seems a bit surprised. Regardless, why is she asking me that now?
私も男の人が苦手で。
Training partners. Training partner. Training partner. That's gonna be the fucking plot. Does she think I hadn't noticed that until now? That's astounding. Komaki, unable to recognize my innermost thought, continues talking.
これって人生ものすごく損してるよね。
Yeah, I feel the
そ
same.
うですよ。
Still don't get why she's so worked up over this. The urgency in her voice is evident. In response to her excitement, I shrink back slightly. However, our connection has been able to turn things around. That's gotta be good for tackling our mutual weaknesses, I say while forcing a laugh. And then suddenly,
それなんです。
Komaki suddenly lunges forward, nodding violently. My mouth is stuck wide open mid-laugh. What's it? Huh? As I fumble for a reply, she suddenly vanishes from my sight. She scrambles around the room like a nimble animal, reconfirming that the doors and windows are locked and returned.
裏返し
Huh? What?
苦手の克服。
Who is?
裏返しの関係にある私たちってちょうどいいと思いませんか？
Yeah.
苦手を克服するのに。
Yeah? Huh? Komaki's simply repeating what I said. I'm not sure what she's getting at. I put on a forced smile and stiffen
唐
up.
突な話だってことは分かってます。でも私考えたんですけど、
Komaki continues.
このまま苦手意識に負けてたらいつかきっと後悔することになるって。
Komaki's speech is devoid of her usual Japanese honorifics. Her nerves are clearly frayed.
大切な瞬間にも置き去りにされてしまう。
Important time. I'm not sure what she means, but it's a bit
せめて
unsettling.
男子を避けずに済むように。
But that sort of thing is something you're born with.
それなんです。
Komaki finally seems to realize how loud she is.
それなの。
She corrects herself.
やればできると思うんです。 私たち要は慣れです。河野くんとも最初は緊張しましたけど、今では気軽に話せるようになりましたし。
She returns to using
ですか
honorifics.
らこのことでも私たち協力し合えると思うんです。だってびっくりするほど都合いいじゃないですか。ちょうど裏表の関係なんて。
The record-setting speech from Komaki continues. Still completely immune to embarrassment, she presses on earnestly. No, I wonder if she's conscious of her own actions. Komaki's face, which is particularly close to mine, is even redder than when we were walking side by side down the corridor.
お互いいいことずくめですよね。
Yeah, well, I guess so.
はい、丸儲けです。
Komaki nods solemnly, her fists gripped tightly by her sides. In other words, we're trying to practice socializing with the opposite sex. That's crazy. That's not something that I would have expected Komaki to suggest in a billion years. Maybe she says up things like this so she can spurt them out all in one breath. She isn't exactly too convincing, but can't really refuse when she's so earnest about it. It's a bit like reluctantly buying a toy for a begging child who doesn't beg for stuff very often. Her request is rather strange, but I'm finding it unusually hard to turn her down. That's just cruel. Agree to take part. Well, I wouldn't mind.
本当ですか?
Komaki pulls closer to me, struggling to hold back her excitement, overwhelmed to take a step back. Yeah! I nod. Komaki drops her shoulders and lets out a huge anticlimactic sigh. That must have meant a lot to her.
ありがとうございます。
Komaki smiles in relief, looking like she just finished a marathon. Despite my agreement, I feel a sense of unease well up inside me. Well, whatever, I'm sure it'll turn out okay. Besides, Komaki's relief suggests that there must have been some kind of greater meaning behind it. Or not.
それでは今後ともお願いします。ここだけの練習台として。
Yeah, roger that. Getting flustered, the two of us bow to each other with the table in between us. So, what do we do? I'd ask the first thing that comes to mind. Komaki replies wordlessly. She stares at me blankly as though in a coma. We continue staring at each other in silence, just two comrades struggling with the opposite sex, minds devoid of any ingenious ideas. Things suddenly look grim for us. Another peaceful day. The thought drifts into my mind as I lay on my bed. My eyes closed, I should have slowly be drifting into the dream world. Oh, hold on. No, I actually can't skip. But instead, I feel like I've forgotten about something that bothers me so much I can't fall asleep. What is it? What's bothering you so much? It feels like one of those nights when you go to bed without finishing your homework. Pardon what this is. Eventually, a single word surfaces in my mind. Report. No why. How did I forget? It's due tomorrow! I left it at school, I think, in my desk. If I can't head it in on time, I'll have to take supplemental classes during the holidays. What should I do? Ask Yuji to let me copy his? Nah, he's not gonna let me. Baller, go get it from school. Yeah, I have to. I should probably go right now. I throw on some clothes and head towards the school in darkness. Here it is. After a bit of searching, I've retrieved the report from my desk. Time to head back. Might have to pull an all-nighter tonight. As I'm about to drag my feet back to my room, a flash of light appears outside the window. Huh. My eyes reflexively turn towards the source. Ah. The light grows larger and larger. A meteor! Now it looks like it's being sucked in somewhere behind the school. They fall into the backyard. I'm still a bit blinded by the sudden flash of light. All I can do is look towards where it might have landed. Now what? Take a look. Seems iffy. Guess I'll go take a look. Walking down the hallway at night, everything is so quiet. All I can hear are my footsteps. I rush down flights of stairs and pass through the dim hall walkway. The ground outside is lit by the moon. After a short walk on gravel ground, I've reached the backyard. It's still the same old scenery, disturbed only by the occasional gentle breeze. Two mighty Salcova trees stand in front of me. Their branches flutter softly in the wind, at times blowing lights from distant streets to seep through. The boundaries of the school have always been somewhat vague, with this grassland extending all the way to the foot of the mountain behind the school for fire prevention purposes. The area in front of me is also fenced off, with a sign saying grass cultivation. Drifting clouds have hidden the moon. Moments later, the moon's radiance showers onto the ground again. A strange sensation comes from within the fenced area. A person lies there, upon the lush grass field. Hey! I call out. An afternoon nap gone way too long? No, it can't be. Hello? Still no response. Then, I think I've read something like this in foreign detective novels. Someone is killed, but a murderer cannot be found. In the end, the famous detective explains that Neville was a murderer. The victim was simply struck by a meteor, or some other ridiculous reason like that. Yeah, right. That idea out of the question. The tension in the air grows even more intense, motivating me to move closer. Carefully step into the fenced area. Who the fuck are you? Some tells me she's a Kurusugawa. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know why. Maybe it's the hair. She looks like an Ojo-sama. Lying on the grass field, this girl sound asleep. She's wearing my school uniform. I've never seen her, but she looks like she's in the same year as me. My worries dissipate as I hear the sound of her steady breathing. Gently, I shake her awake. Her body stirs and her eyelids open slightly.
高明さん。おお、元気なんだ。よかった。
The girl lets out a small yawn and goes back to sleep. She just called me Takaaki. Do we know each other? Hey! Try to shake her awake again, but she doesn't seem to notice. Can't just leave her like this. Fine. There we go. I pick up the girl in my arms and start walking towards the school building. Just who is this girl? Try my best to remember. I put her on the bench by the walkway for now. Should I try to lower her temperature or keep her warm? I have no idea. Maybe I should go to the infirmary? Then I recall how late it is as I'm just about to go. It's probably locked. Sheesh. What should I do? Maybe there's something I can use. As I come out, the lights on a vending machine catch my attention. Ooh. I can buy a cold drink or maybe a hot one and just wrap it in a handkerchief. I'm a genius. Now what should I buy? After dashing over and tossing 100 yen coin in, I'm now baffled at what to get. A cold or
ホッ
hot
トの
one.
紅茶がいいな。
Ah, okay. Press the button. Clatter. A can of hot black tea reaches the bottom with a clunk and I take it out. I think I'm missing something. Hold on. I just said a hot black tea would be nice. What the?
お久しぶりです。高明さん。
The girl who was asleep just a few moments ago is now smiling at me gently. She looks at me with nostalgia in her eyes. For a moment I felt like I'm about to say something, but the feeling fades away as my mouth opens. Which is only natural. What's there to say to a girl you've just met? Who are you? Ah, hot! I begin to feel a burning sensation from my right hand. But of course, I've been holding onto this can of hot black tea this whole time. In panic, I begin to toss it around between my hands, making a fool of myself. The girl lets out a giggle with her hand over her mouth. Hey, flicked her forehead with my index finger without thinking. She looks a bit surprised. What the heck am I doing to a girl I just met? Sorry. This is the first time we've met, right? Why did I...
やっぱり高明さんだ。
The girl giggles again. Doesn't seem to mind at all. Who are you again? I honestly can't remember.
草壁優希です。
Kusakabe. The name doesn't ring a bell. So it's not Kurusugawa, okay. But from the way she talks, she seems to know me pretty well. Your uniform, that's from the school, right? Are we in the same grade? If that's the case, have we met at school before?
そうだね。うん。一緒だったよ。でも、きっと高明さんは思い出せないと思うけど。
Plot twist, she's the maid bot. She's right, I really don't. I guess we must have met since she says so. Oh, right, here, it shouldn't be too hot now. Pass the can of black tea to her.
ありがとうございます。
She opens it up and takes a gulp right away. Wait! Too late, she lets out a small groan. Jeez, you're still no good with hot things.
ごめんなさい。以後気をつけます。
Kusakabe apologizes sincerely and then begins to quietly blow onto the drink. She blows away the steam rising from the tea over and over. After doing that for a while, she finally takes a sip.
あったかくて美味しいです。
She smiles gently. Wait, did I just say? You're still no good with hot things. I did, didn't I? Why did I say still no good?
さあ、どうでしたっけ？
She squints at me. Her tone makes me think she's hiding something. Since I can't be sure, I decide to ask about something else. What are you doing out here and so late at night?
ずっと眠っていたんですよ。目が覚めるまで。
Behind the school.
私、裏庭にいたんですか？
look surprised, even though I should be the one surprised. You don't remember. You know, in that fenced-off area out back, sleeping in the grass.
そうなんですか。私寝ぼけてましたから。
And that seems to be all she wants to talk about. And that's how you got there?
はい。
I had the feeling that she wasn't going to give me a serious answer. Anyway, but I guess I won't dig too deep into this. Let's see. You should head home if you don't want to catch a cold, Kuskabe.
そうですね。
Alright then. Turn around and start to leave.
またね。高明さん、ホット紅茶ありがとう。
Respond with a small wave. Who'd have thought coming here to get my report would lead to such a strange outcome? Still feel a bit confused about it all, so I turn around. But Kuskaba is already nowhere to be seen. That was fucking weird. Skip. Skip. Where's my gun? Damn it. I did actually try to time it to where it would line up with between the eyes, but it didn't. Because I'm bad, apparently. You know what? I'll do one more event for her, and then I'm going to bed. Now that it's April, our work in the archives has finally resumed in earnest. Komaki and I haven't spoken much, aside from a light greeting. We can move to our posts, barely glancing at each other's faces. Our enthusiasm at overcoming our weaknesses is nowhere to be found, and we started working silently on either side of the bookshelf. That's probably why we're so quiet. None of us know how to respond. Even in the classroom, we quickly avert our eyes every time our gaze accidentally cross paths. This happens often. Before long, we realize it's time for tea. We find ourselves sitting awkwardly opposite each other. How long will the two of us sit there helplessly? I try to break the ice. What should we do now? He shifts her teacup around in her palms. I realize that I'm doing the same. Damn it, feels like we're trapped in some kind of arranged marriage meeting. Conquer our weaknesses. Nah, it sounds too grand. That's what's making us so nervous. How about if I think about it as being able to find a simple way to associate with girls without hesitation? I think that's better. An idea suddenly pops into my head. Should I call you by your given name?
名前
Komaki repeats my words in a whisper like a
そ
parrot.
れいいか
What's I do? Both Komaki and myself turn bright red. Okay, just hear them. Anyway, on to her given name. Komaki's first name is Manaka. It's Manaka, damn it. It's a big deal. I was the one who brought up the idea. She looks up at me and waits for me to say it. I try to swallow the saliva that doesn't exist deep within my parched throat. Ba. 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 He's actually gonna say mama. I'm stuttering within my own head. But Manaka. I falter slightly. Just like a sleeping student who's been called out by a teacher. Komaki, no, Manaka bolts upright and answers me. A period of silence follows. Manaka fidgets nervously. She chokes on my name. Yeah? Ah, she ran away. Komaki scurries off into the kitchen where I can respond. No, not Komaki, Manaka. I feel a chill go down my spine. The mere act of calling her by name causes me to break out into a cold sweat. Manaka's probably the same too. No, Komaki. No, it is Manaka. Ugh. I sit on the sofa and constantly let out a big sigh. I control my breathing till the tea is ready. Hopefully we'll have conquered our weaknesses by then.
お待たせしました。高明くん。
Inchu does her best. No, Komaki. No, Manaka. I seem to be going backwards. I look at her hands holding out the teacup. Now that I think about it, Komaki rarely hands me things directly. Usually there's a table or something cushioning the impact. Even a harmless action like this appears to be a weakness you want to conquer. We're almost halfway through our tea break, but we still haven't said anything. The thought of having to call her Monica in this conversation discourages me from starting one. This is just like banning the English language in a game of golf.
コーン、お茶のおかわりはいかが？
Just barely. Yeah, thanks. Usually Monica would push the teacup across the table before withdrawing her hand, but this time I reach out immediately and make contact with her hand. She falters for a moment, but once she understands my intention, she continues reaching out. It's just a cup. Just the tips of her fingers will meet. It's meaningless, but this is what I've been. But this is what it's been from the beginning. Can't make a fuss about it. I try my best to make this appear as inconspicuous as possible. But if I take too long, she'll notice for sure.
お待たせしました。
Despite her words, Manaka doesn't place the cup on the table. Is she planning on doing it? She pushes the cup with steam floating up from it across the table. Still haven't grasped it firmly. The contents of the tea nearly spill over. I break out in a cold sweat, then that begins running down my back. Our hands touch. They touch! Seriously! Seriously! I willfully touched a woman's body. I did have permission, though, but there's no way to describe it then. Willfully. That's gotta be a good thing. Monica blurts out in surprise as her fingers meet. A drop of amber fluid spilled over and landed on Monica's hand. Her hands start causing the teacup to fall to the ground, shattering. At that moment, hot tea spills onto her foot. More from surprise than the heat, her eyes widen as she takes a few steps back. Take your sock off quickly! I forget about how our hands touch. I rush off to the kitchen and return with a handkerchief soaked in cold water. Monica just stands there dumbfounded. What are you doing? Monica forgets about the heat on her foot and continues standing there in a daze. Come here! Grab the half-crying, baffled Monica by her hand and sit her on the stepladder. Softly hold her foot. Does it hurt?
わかんない。
Komaki sniffs. She's probably in mild shock. I softly place my hand on Monika's sock. Did that hurt?
大丈
The surface of her foot has a reddish tinge to it. Looks painful. Just a little more. With Komaki's permission, I begin taking her sock off. Revealing her bare foot. Looks like a burn. Place the wet handkerchief on her foot. Is it
夫。ちょ
cold?
っと。でも、
How's the pain?
大丈夫です。でも、
You need to say something. Heart is full of regrets. Monica seems to be feeling a bit restless. She opens her mouth to say something before closing it again. What's wrong? I look up. I see that Monica's face is redder than her foot. What she's timidly gazing down at is my hand wrapped around her bare white foot. Her skin is smooth to the touch. Little, neatly huddled toes. Stop. I finally realize what I'm doing. Sorry, I panic and pull myself away. My face flushes red with embarrassment. What should I say? Maybe I should just shut my mouth. Turn away from her. I was holding her leg, and I didn't even ask her. The blood won't stop rushing to my head. Sorry, I didn't do that on purpose.
そんなこと。
While sitting on top of the ladder, she shakes her head. I'm really sorry about that.
そうじゃ、私が言いたいのは。
Firmly denies any wrongdoings and hangs her head.
ありがとう。
Okay. She meekly grateful. What? She's meekly grateful through thick and thin. Finally feel my face begin to cool off. How's your foot? Does it hurt?
もう平気。ほんと、大したことないから。
Really? Thank goodness. Truly. Put the wet handkerchief as it is back in my pocket. I begin moving back towards the table when Monica calls out to me to stop me, sounding slightly flustered.
その。
Monica fidgets until she finds the courage to hold up her head. She looks to be firmly in the eye, and with fierce determination she opens her lips.
靴下、返して。
Another peaceful day. Lying on my bed, I think back to what happened last night. I went to get my report and ended up treating someone to hot tea. It was quite strange. I feel like I have to go out here to unlock her for like an actual route for the next run through.
but I might be wrong. So I just opened the browser and the first thing I see is like someone sent me a picture. It's just like someone answering their phone, hello, and suddenly the girl next to him just like starts moaning intentionally to make it awkward, and he just says like, your daughter, she's here, want to talk to her, and he just sits there like, fuck. Anyways, ToHeart2 route guide. Okay, so, okay, I assume I need to stop here, actually. Okay, apparently for the twins, you need to fucking go to the shopping district with Konomi once on March 4th. So yeah, there is an option where you actually have to fucking go for someone else. That's good to fucking know. I probably wouldn't have done that, actually. Like, I would have been so fucking confused, like, how the fuck do you get to the twins? How the fuck do you get to the twins? Forget about it, to go back to sleep. Yeah, well, gotta get up early anyway. Fell asleep without giving it another thought. Hey! I like girls with long hair. Be gone. Anyways, I said I would only do one more event with her, so we're gonna end it here for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this and see you next time. Bye-bye! Stop trying to be cute because you're not. You goddamn crazy mystery bitch. Bye.